What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today, we're here to bring you guys a little bit more preparation for this upcoming Kizuna clash, Pirate Alliance Kizuna clash against Shiki, which is debuting August 23rd, 1900 PST time. Now, I believe I'm going to be busy the exact time when the Kizuna comes out, so likely the video for this Kizuna, when it does debut on the day, will be a little bit late. So let's go ahead and do a video and talk about the teams that I'm preparing to use for this content up against this Kizuna. Now, do note as well that it does mention somewhere along here that, you know, the characters Katakuri, Oven, and Brule, obviously they are the big boosters that you want to be using, and the fact that these characters give you additional ticket rewards. Now, it does also mention that if you do use them as a friend captain, you actually get more points as well, so long as it's not a guest captain. Like, if you use an actual friend on your friends list with this character, you get more tickets out of it. Very similar to what they did during the Blitz battle, similar to what they did during Treasure Map. So make sure, if you are planning to build teams around that, to have friends that actually have these units. Personally speaking, I'm not planning to build teams around these characters because I feel like finding them is going to be relatively difficult. So we're going to be using teams that are using, you know, just double units, no hybrids or anything. But I do have one team versus all that I'll be showing in this video that I think should work. Obviously, we can't put it into practice, but just according to everything that I've read, it should get the job done. So let's go ahead and jump into it to the first team. This is going to be the versus DEX team. So in this fight, there's going to be cooldown to Powerhouse and Slasher characters. So everyone gets cooldown except for Luffy and the Straw Hats. The only reason why they're here is because, I mean, I had like an empty spot basically. And, you know, if you got an empty spot on a Kizuna team, Luffy and the Straw Hats are going to slot in perfectly in any situation. And also because they can have the Rayleigh support, which is going to be very good once the boss HP changes post whatever level that is. Because they did also mention that in this Kizuna, there's the 10-star difficulty is going to have higher HP and higher HP scaling, so the boss HP changing may actually alter what level that may be, so we're not too sure when that actually occurs yet. But once we said, you know, Powerhouse and Slashers get cooldowns, Battle 2, there's going to be special bind to our crewmates for 5 turns, so our captains are untouched by that special bind. So ideally, we just use, you know, one Kaido super type or super class special and their special, and that's enough damage to kill, because this team is planning to use double Kaido, of course. And on the boss stage, there's going to be slot change unfavorable, and remember, the super class special of Kaido can deal with that. We're given 5 turns of attack down, 8 turns of despair, and that's pretty much it. And then, you know, after the boss HP changes, we get hit with 2 hits of hunger, 2 stacks of hunger. Also, attack down will go to 6 and despair will go to 9. So in terms of despair reduction, we have the Rayleigh support on Luffy and the Straw Hats, and then we've also got the Rare Recruit King. This guy's going to be really good because he gets rid of despair, attack down, and special bind. So as we said, we get special binded on Battle 2. We're not using a special on Battle 2 except for maybe the friend Captain Kaido or our own Kaido, depending on what happens. So when we reach the boss stage, this special removes like everything. It is such a good special for this quest. Also provides an attack boost to our Striker and Powerhouse characters, which is fantastic. And with that and the page 1 support, which is attached to X Drake, removes an additional 2 turns of attack down, meaning that the 6 turns of attack down, the 9 turns of despair with the Rayleigh support as well, attached to Luffy and the Straw Hats. The utility is not going to be a problem. We have attack boost via the King. We also have Chain Boundary with Drake. We've got the Orb boost with Kaido, Color Affinity with Kuma. The thing about Kuma and why this unit is used here as well is because he does have the hunger stack removal, which you definitely want to have, or have some type of way to manipulate your slots into recovery or Semler, and to consume 2 of those slots to get the right damage output that you really want to get in this quest. So this team seems pretty solid and should last a pretty long time in this quest. I'm not expecting this team to really have any issues throughout the entire duration of the Kizuna, but of course you don't get as many tickets due to the fact that it's not really utilizing a friend captain Katakuri. I can't remember if the Katakuri was a powerhouse captain. If he is, then you could definitely run a hybrid, you know, if you really wanted to do something like that. But anyways, that's the first team versus the DEX Fight. So now we're moving on to the Quick Fight, the secondary team. So this team is planning on using double Hiyori as the captain, and they're probably the most ideal unit to use here, right? So there's going to be cooldown to Dex and Quick. There's going to be 5 turns of Rainbow Shield on battle 2, and that's why we're using the Robin and Jinbei. Their special ability removes that. Then on the final stage, there is going to be immunity, but it actually excludes increased damage taken, which is where Zoro and Sanji are going to be really, really good, because their special ability does provide color affinity, and it also gives increased damage taken to the enemy, and we're able to apply that, so that's great. We get extra damage from that. Then we've also got Resilience, and this is where Hiyori is going to be very, very good, as Hiyori's super type does remove 7 turns of Resilience, and after the boss HP gimmick thing gets applied, an additional turn of Resilience is actually given, so we just don't have to worry about it with this. Plus, there's also the fact that her special ability will give us a full board of Wano slots, and after the boss HP changes, they make type slots badly matching for 5 turns, so having Wano slots just ignores that. Also, the special ability of Hiyori removes chain coefficient reduction, which is something that we get inflicted with on this fight. Also, there is an attack down effect where if your chain does not exceed 2.0, you get an attack down given to your team, which is where we have the Crocodile, because of course on battle 3 we get inflicted with the chain coefficient reduction. He removes 3 turns of it and gives us a chain boundary, and that's supporters on Robin and Jinbei, and then Hiyori special removes the chain coefficient reduction completely, but we actually will still have the chain boundary effect from the support of the Crocodile. So a really nice way to get around those chain effects. Color affinity via the Zoro and Sanji, and then we have an attack and an orb boosting effect via the Cat and Dog special abilities. So as I said, double Hiyori team shouldn't really have too many issues in this quest, and should do a lot of damage as well towards the Shiki fight versus Quick. And then we make it to the final fight, the Psy variation against Shiki, and for this fight, you want to be predominantly building Int, of course, but Powerhouse and Cerebral receive the cooldown. So we're just building essentially a mono Cerebral team, and we have the attack down, 5 turns of attack down on battle 2, and that's where Robin and Jinbei come in very clutch once again, removing the 6 turns of attack down on battle 2. We also have like the Uta specials as well, ideally using both Utas on battle 2 to give us the, all of the attack and all boosting effects. Plus, when you use 2 Utas in the same turn, you have the full board of matching slots that are locked, and you also get multiple turns of a chain boosting effect. So we're going to go ahead and use that, and then when we actually make our way to the final stage, we're going to have to deal with a couple of different things. There's going to be the removal of beneficial effects and accumulated values, so Uta's effect is going to be removed, but with her effect it will apply a 2.5 attack and all boosting effect after the fact, which is still very good. We have Crocodile here as well, which can actually provide us with a chain boundary effect, and with the support of Mr. One and Miss Doublefinger here, very, very good support. When we use the special ability of Crocodile, it will give us a 0.7 chain boost, and unfortunately Uta's chain boost cannot be carried over due to the removal of beneficial effects. So luckily with Crocodile we can get chain boundary and chain boost in one special activation, super good, and we'll still have the 2.5 attack and all boost, so that's not really going to be a worry. And then there's also going to be bind. Your middle row will be binded for 8 turns. So this is where Chopper's going to be very good, the new Legend Chopper that debuted with Uta. Not only will he remove that bind for us, but he also gives us color affinity boost, and resistance down is inflicted as well. And then we also have the Hiyori, which gives us a full board of Wano slots, which obviously gives us more damage. But another thing about Hiyori that a lot of people don't realize is that she has a very good crewmate ability. If you tap on this character with a Wano slot, apply minus 15% cerebral and slasher resistance down to all enemies for 1 turn. This does stack with any other resistance buff that you have, which means that with this team we actually get minus 65% resistance for cerebral, so it's essentially like a 1.65 times boost for free. It's really nice. So we've got color affinity, attack and all boost with Uta, chain boundary, and so the chain boost, Wano slots. This does a lot of damage, and of course once the boss HP changes, when you get additional gimmicks, there's going to be 1 turn of bind that's going to be inflicted extra. Chopper still removes it. There's going to be more paralysis given. Doesn't matter. Uta removes it. Special reverse is inflicted. Uta removes it. And then that's basically it. So yeah, this team seems really solid. It's going to do absurd amounts of damage on this fight. And if you do need it, you've got Uta's final tap too, which just gives you a little bit of extra damage as well. So I decided to show the team like this just so you guys can understand what's going on, but I believe this team should work against all variations. The only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is just the damage output that this team will able to output against the boss. I'm not really too certain about that. But this team is going to be a Uta hybrid Kaido hybrid team, I suppose. Now, we've got a couple of pretty cool units on this team, namely that Recruit King that we talked about a little bit earlier. Due to the amount of utility that he can deal with on a lot of these fights, he's just a really ideal choice here, as he just removes Despair, Attack Down, Special Bind, really, really good. Remember that Powerhouse characters receive cooldown on the DEX Fight and also on the PSY Fight, so building a Powerhouse centric team is going to be really good, and Uta's nice here as well because she essentially provides boosts to characters that are Striker or Cerebral. In this instance here, we've got Uta herself, King, and also Kaido. Those are the three characters that will actually receive buffs from Uta's special ability, and due to the fact that Uta is a boosted character in this Kizuna, she's on the boosted list, she's going to be getting the cooldown on every single variation no matter what, so we don't really have to worry about damage all that much so long as the characters fall under either being Striker or Cerebral characters. Right, so we've also got the Quick Fight, which is a bit interesting. The Quick Fight, you only get cooldown to Dex and Quick characters. So obviously in this instance here, Uta will have her special, but Luffy and the Straw Hats and then also Apu are going to be the characters that will be the ones that you really have to worry about. So on that quick variation, there's Rainbow Shield on Battle 2, and that's where this Apu can kind of help you with that. He gets rid of 5 turns of the Rainbow Shield, and he also has the Hunger Stack removal, but you need to get it at level 3, so if I do opt to use this team, I will actually level that up a little bit just to make sure that he can remove the Hunger Stacks, which will occur on the Dex variation of the Kizuna. Then you've also got on the final stage, you have to deal with the chain coefficient reduction, and luckily with the support of Boa Hancock, which can attach to Luffy and the Straw Hats, gives us a 2.75 chain lock, so we don't have to worry about that on the quick variation. And then there is also resilience that also occurs on the quick fight, and that's where Luffy and the Straw Hats are going to be insanely broken because their final tap, where it does the damage, the end of turn damage effect with their final tap, does go through resilience, so that's kind of like a pseudo way that you can get around resilience in this case. So the Hancock and Luffy and the Apu, that core, all will just deal with all of the gimmicks on versus quick, but once again, I'm not really too certain on the amount of damage that we will actually get. And the really cool thing as well is that with Kaido's super class, we can actually get, you know, those Wano slots as well as getting tandem slots and stuff, so it's actually really nice. You can get Wano slots just with this team too, or alternatively, you know, versus quick, you'll be able to use Luffy and the Straw Hats' special ability, which can provide you with full board of rainbow slots, just depending on what you want to do. And on the side variation, there's going to be Attack Down on Battle 2. This is where we have the King special, but ideally use Uta first, which gives you the attack and orb boosting effect, and because there are going to be interrupts on the side variation if you activate an attack boost or an orb boost, and remember Uta does get around those effects, so you can use Uta first to give you those boosts, and then you can use King special because he does provide an attack boost, so you want to make sure you use Uta first, and he does remove the attack down. And then on the final boss stage, there's going to be Bind on the middle row, which is where the Blackbeard comes into it. Blackbeard removes 10 turns of Bind, and he also provides us with a chain boundary effect. There's going to be Paralysis, Uta deals with that, Special Reverse, Uta deals with that, so that's not really going to be a problem either. The side variation is going to be pretty straightforward, and then as we said with the versus Dex variation, having these really cool supports of Lafitte to get rid of the additional despair that occurs after the boss HP changes, and also the page 1 support on Kaido to get rid of the additional attack down that will be inflicted to our team. So the Lafitte support, page 1 support, and King special deals with essentially all of the gimmicks that can occur on the Dex variation, even that post level 30, whatever it may be, level of additional gimmicks being inflicted to the team. But once again, not too sure on the damage potential of this team, but in terms of gimmicks, it seems like we can get around everything that will be thrown our way. So with all of that being said, that is going to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching it, and if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and definitely let me know down below in the comment section, what teams are you planning on building for this Kizuna Clash? Are you aiming to use Katakuri, Brule, Oven as those friend captains to give you more tickets? It may be a really good strategy to employ, because, you know, finding those friend captains is going to be difficult, but if you do get them, then you're going to be getting more tickets than everybody else, and it may be a pretty pretty good strategy to go ahead and, you know, finish up this Kizuna a little bit more quickly. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. If you guys want to stay up to date with all of the One Piece Treasure Cruise content that I upload to the YouTube channel, make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.